Welcome to West Country Wanderings and welcome to another day in glorious Cornwall over the Jubilee Bank Holiday weekend. Today I'm in Lostwithiel with my daughter again. I'm right beside the wonderful River Fowey. And shortly I'll do some music with some clips and photographs that I've taken around the town centre. I won't do pieces to camera there, no, I don't like crowds, and it is rather busy being a bank holiday. Well, not weekend, it's the Friday today, the Jubilee weekend. And I'll include up some music. I'll do that now for you. But after that, we're going to go on a walk. We're going to follow this beautiful river, the River Fowey, down to the village of Golant. So why not join me here on a walk again on West Country Wanderings. Just gone under Fowey Viaduct. That carries the main railway line down to Penzance and back in the direction of Liskeard and Plymouth. Also it carries a branch line, more about that in a bit. But we're just walking through the grounds of Coulson Park, and I've just read the sign there, and this was dedicated to the people of Lostwithiel in 1977 when Queen Elizabeth was celebrating her Silver Jubilee, and now of course she's celebrating her Diamond. So just to my right, I'll just spin around a second, you'll see that there is another line lower than the Cornish main line. Just turn around there, you can see that railway line there behind me. That line used to be the passenger line down to the beautiful town of Fowey, and sure, that's a town we'll cover a future point here on West Country Wanderings. It's quite a bit of a way to walk today. We're just going to go down to Golant, beautiful riverside setting. And that track is still in fact used. It's used by the China clay trains that goes to a place called Point, which is about a mile north of Fowey, or where Fowey railway station used to be. So it's actively used to take the China clay down to the port there and into the ships and on into the sea. So it's 6'6", not sure what that is in metric. Drop that in below, should know. I prefer to use metric on the channel. I won't get into that argument though. This must be one of the lowest railway bridges on the network. And to say this carries our branch of interest there with my hat. It's almost touching, not quite, but almost touching the top of my hat there. But yeah, so this is the branch line to Fowey I'm underneath now. And the Cornish main line is behind me here on a much, you can see that there, on a much higher bridge. I think that's about 10 or 12 foot span on that one. So yeah, you can see this is on a lower gradient. Of course, it's on a lower gradient because it's following the river down. The main line heads inland at this point after it comes out of the town of Lostwithiel. So we've now left Colston Park, following the river to my left. I've got which way, left, front, and your right. And also we have the railway track very, very close to my right, your left. And we're now in what's called Shire Hall Nature Reserve. It looks like it's a private nature reserve, although this is a public right-of-way and a track right through it, right next to the river here, just outside the town of Lostwithiel. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot here. Just got a nice curve in the river here, just meandering round. You can sense that the river is widening as it makes its approach down to the sea. I think we're about 6 miles off the English Channel here, the South Cornish coast. While I'm here, sat on this lovely picnic bench on this beautiful walk here in the nature reserve next to the River Fowey, just tell you a little bit about the Fowey line. I think the station closed in the early 60s, I think it was 61, perhaps 62. I think it predated beaching. And there have been attempts to reopen it as a passenger service from Lostwithiel station. I'll also try and include a photograph of the platform at Lostwithiel because it is still there. Also used to be sidings for the China clay trains as well, but those sidings have now been taken out of use. But yeah, there are plans to reopen it again. I think it would be fantastic because Fowey often gets congested with car traffic, like lots of places, particularly in Cornwall, the narrow streets in the towns. And I think the main stumbling block is that the line down to the transfer port where the China clay trains go doesn't have a passing loop, and obviously the priority is for the freight on the line. But I'm sure they could put in a new loop somewhere to enable trains to run on this, what would be a beautiful line down to the town of Fowey. So this is the end of Shire Hall Nature Reserve, or the start. And just to let you know that in 2007, this was dedicated and now owned by the people of Lostwithiel for them to enjoy, and also a perfect example of a nature reserve in terms of it's completely set aside for nature rather than agricultural or any other purpose. And I think it is 9 acres, 9.7 acres I think, but yeah, it was 2007 it was given over to the people. Beautiful spot here. We're actually going to retrace our steps now because you have to walk back to where the bridge was and go underneath the bridge and then make a way on the other side of the railway track down to Golant, because Golant is actually above the railway on the opposite bank, if you see what I mean. I'll put in a map to show you exactly where I am. But yeah, you can walk all over here, but obviously you'd have to be very careful because of the salt marsh. And you have these little hollows here. I'll just take you down to this one to show you down here. I would imagine it would be quite wet in winter, but it's quite a unique habitat in Cornwall, this one. I've not seen this before. So yeah, they have these ponds here, and there's obviously this forms part of the salt marsh of this nature reserve, Shire Hall, just outside the town of Lostwithiel. And Fowey is about 5 miles down in that direction. So we've now walked back from that nature reserve and walked underneath that very narrow bridge that you saw earlier in the video. And our walk continues along this lush grassland. We're now higher up above the River Fowey from where we were before, making our way down to the village of Golant. I've never been to Golant before. My only knowledge of Golant is, well, two things. From a railway perspective, if you go on to the Cornwall Railway Heritage website, you'll see old photographs of it. with trains, the China trade trains, and indeed earlier trains, steam trains going through. And also Oasis, that group from Manchester. They recorded one of their albums here. There is recording studios at Golant, or near Golant. I'm not sure if it's exactly in the village itself. I've no idea exactly where that is. But obviously the recording studio around here, because this is one of the quietest parts of Cornwall, aside from going on to Bodmin or one of the wilder areas onto the Lizard. But yeah, just enjoying it here. It's absolutely beautiful. Really enjoying this walk here alongside the River Fowey coming out of Lostwithiel. So we're about 1.5 miles to the north of the village of Golant, and we've decided not to proceed any further today for a couple of reasons. First of all, practical reason, it's very, very hot, and both really, really hot on the walk. Obviously just going on to Golant. There isn't actually remains of the station there anymore. There was a station on the Fowey line. Because it was built right next to the River Fowey, it was demolished, and any stone remains have been washed away by the tide of the river when the river has got high over the years, so there's nothing there to see. But it is a beautiful spot with the railway and the river, so it was something we will revisit here on West Country Wanderings at a later date. Before I head back to Lostwithiel, though, I wanted to show you this magnificent viaduct. In actual fact, we've got 2 stone arches, one here, and this is part of the original viaduct, which would have had wooden trestle bridge, and because of the climate in Cornwall, those wooden trestles started to wear out, so they then replaced it with this viaduct, this one behind me, which is the existing structure, and that still carries the Cornish main line down to Penzance. So we've come back to the town of Lostwithiel. I'm just going to wrap the video up now. I'm going to take some more photographs around the town. I'll try and include one of Fowey Bridge, ancient medieval bridge in Lostwithiel. Used to carry the main road between Liskeard and St Austell. Thankfully, 1939 they built a bypass which takes most of the traffic away from the centre of the town. Beautiful town here. Really easy to come by train. There's a train at least once an hour. Not all the mainline trains between Plymouth and Penzance stop, but there's at least one every hour, sometimes more frequent than that, and it drops you right into the heart of the town, so it's easy to get into the town centre. So yeah, there was a nice walk. Sorry it wasn't quite down to Golant, but we will cover that next time. There will be another one coming up soon on the Severn Way. That'll be dropping in the next few days. It'll be part 2, and there'll also be other videos from Cornwall and other parts of the West Country on my channel. So if you subscribe and hit the bell, then YouTube will tell you when that one is. Until next time, West Country Wanderings, look after yourselves, take care, and I hope to see you on the channel very, very soon. All the best for now. Cheers. Goodbye.